Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is it. This is the big one. United travelling to Brighton. So joining me for this preview is the legend himself, Andy Tate. How are we doing?
I'm doing fine, brother. Are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. You were front and centre in the protest the other day. I like to see that.
Yeah, I was like at front row right in front of the, filming everything. I was there in the thick of it. Really good.
Right in the action.
Really good protest and really peaceful. And like you say, you got to speak your voice.
You have got to make your voice heard peacefully, and Andy certainly does that. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about, obviously, the Brighton game, big one. United coming off the back of a win against Aston Villa. Now, against Aston Villa and against Brighton in the FA Cup, we had the centre-back partnership of Lindelof and Shaw that got a clean sheet, that did well. So going into this game, and we'll get to predicted 11s in a minute, but you're looking at that partnership with Shaw and Lindelof. Is that one that you like? Is that one that you think works?
Yeah, I mean, to cover the losses of Martinez and Varane, yeah, I think that's a good backing to see us out through till the end of the season, and maybe for an FA Cup final as well. Who knows? Unless, like I say, Varane, he could play, he could get a game or two before the end of the season. And it has got us two big results in terms of getting to a final and then getting us 3 precious points yesterday in the league. And may it continue for Thursday as well, maybe beyond.
No, you're right about everything there. But yeah, I thought that 3 points against Villa was precious. I feel like beat Villa, we were done for top 4. I feel pretty confident in that now, and I'm usually quite pessimistic. Just on the Varane front, because obviously Varane for me is one of the best defenders on the planet. Fantastic, absolute, world class. If it's sort of Varane isn't 100%, but he's just about fit enough to start in the cup final, would you stick with his centre-back partnership?
Yeah, I would. I would, because if it can get you into a situation in the cup final, bit of experience, 20 minutes to go.
Oh, right. So you could bring, if you're up against it.
If we're up against it,
1-0 lead or whatever.
Yeah. Like you say, if we're in a good position, it's like, right, bring him on, see the game out, see it out. Yeah, it's definitely, it's a possibility for the final, but you look at all options in that cup final to win it.
You say experience, Andy, but come on, what's Varane ever won? He's only won 4 Champions Leagues in a World Cup.
Yeah,
that's pathetic.
A couple of La Ligas, Copa del Rey.
You know what I mean?
Nothing. It's nothing.
You know what I mean? Come on, have a word with yourself, son. Just quickly, on Maguire, where does this leave him? Because at the minute, I think even with 2 centre-backs out, and I know Maguire's had a knock, it still feels like he's not favoured. When you think about it, your club captain, you cost 80 million quid. We've got 2 centre-backs out, and you're still not certain to start. Do you think this is the last month or so of Harry Maguire's United career?
To be fair, I'm not really interested in Maguire. He's dug himself a hole. What were his comments on England duty last month? And
about this is just for a bit of context. This is where he said he didn't have to prove anything.
Yeah. So and after the Sevilla debacle, I'm just not interested, mate. You played a part Villa yesterday, came on for the last few minutes, made a good clearances, and if you want to remain part of the team for next season and just be in and around the squad, that's fine. But that's his decision, his future. And I want to see new players coming in.
Yeah, I think we'll still get not a lot of money. We certainly won't get our money back, but I think we can get some money for Harry Maguire. He's obviously got one eye on the World Cup of England. He's not going to, I don't think anyway, stay in the England team if he's not playing for his club. I know he got away with it in the Euros. In the World Cup last time because it's in the middle of the season.
Yeah, when the Euros are next year.
So the Euros. Sorry, not
Germany next year.
Sorry, thank you. Yeah, for the Euros, if he wants to play in those, then he's going to have to get first team football, and he ain't getting it at Manchester United. It looks like for the foreseeable future. We'll go from the defence to talk about the attack. We know Marcus Rashford has been on fire this season, banging in the goals. I think he's got 29 goals in all competitions. We've had a little bit of a merry-go-round in the other positions. Sometimes Marcus is down the middle, sometimes he's on the left, sometimes Valvegos in the middle, sometimes Jadon Sancho is on the left, sometimes Bruno Fernandes on the right, sometimes it's Antony. Just for you, and we'll get into predicted 11s in a minute, but what's your favoured front three? If you had to pick a front three, who would you pick? Or does it change for you week in, week out?
I would stay at the moment. I would have Sancho. I would have Rashford and Antony go the front three because, let's say, both need confidence. Sancho, and you need people to supply and all that. I mean, you can rotate between the three, can't you? Rashford can drop onto the left wing and the right wing, and you just rotate during the game, and it's all about supply and belief and cutting in and taking the shots when you get the chance.
Yeah, that was one of my sort of gripes a little bit with Jadon Sancho. He did really well against Spurs, got his goal, obviously took it well. I felt like at times against Villa, he needed to be a bit more sort of, clinical almost.
He did it in the second half. Yeah. He created the chances, and he was like that. He's cutting in. Shoot. Oh, yeah. I'll cut back again and pass it back.
Maybe a little bit. You used the word belief, and I think that was probably the better word than
I was a little harsh on him the other week because I was, watching the FA Cup final and all that, and it's the semi-final, and I was like, oh, for God's sake, come on, do something, lad. Come on. And the penalty as well, I think we all had flashbacks of the Euros, but he took his pen really well. I still want to back him. There is a player in there. It's just about belief and confidence. So, like I say, I apologise for going crazy on the semi-final, but it was a major fucking big match. So it was just emotional in the game. But I really want to back Sancho's corner, and I know there's a player in there somewhere.
No, I agree. I think there is, and I listen, after the Sevilla game, I spoke about him and I said we need to see more from him. And I thought time was running out for him under Erik ten Hag. He responded, not to me, obviously, he's responded in general to his performance against Sevilla with better performances. I thought against Villa, it was better than a lot of his other performances. Yeah. I thought against Spurs, he was good. I still think there's a bit more to come from him. And if he can have that belief and he be a bit more direct, when you've got that space, use it, because sometimes he does sort of seems to run himself into trouble a little bit when he's created that space. So we'll wait and see, but I understand what you're saying.
If you create a chance in an FA Cup final, mate, don't cut back.
Listen,
shoot.
If he gets that chance, he's got to take it. And if he takes it, then he'll be an absolute hero. With everything we've discussed, let's get into the predicted 11s. We'll start with Andy's team. This is the team he thinks Erik ten Hag is going to pick for this game. So this isn't Andy's preferred team, it's the predicted team, just in case anyone hasn't watched this before. The back five, the change you've gone with there from Villa is Malacia's dropped out, Delos's back over to the left where we've seen him play a few times this season, and Wan-Bissaka's come in. What's you thinking there? Is that just Wan-Bissaka's defensive attributes? What's
against a strong Brighton team.
Yeah.
You could see him at the FA Cup final. He really had a good game at
the
semi-final. He really that's
got that to come, don't we?
Yeah. He's got that in him. He had a really good game, and it's about squad rotation as well. And Delos's played good on the left as well. And like I said, the centre back partnership now with Shaw and Lindelof. That's stronger. He's got us 2 big results, and that's my back four. And I'm happy with. And we're happy with De Gea as well, but.
15 clean sheets for David De Gea this season.
Yeah.
Put a bit of distance between himself and Nick Pope, so he's on for these. What they call it, the Golden Gloves or something? Is that what they call it? Yeah.
It is mad, that.
Reminds me of boxing, that.
Yes, I heard that last night. He's still on for the Golden Glove. Wouldn't that be for the keeper who wins the league or something like that?
No, listen, it's clean sheets. It doesn't matter if you go to Anfield and concede 7 and go to the Etihad and concede 6 and go to Brentford and concede 4. If you've got the most clean sheets, you get the Golden Gloves. Those are the rules, and David De Gea's got more clean sheets than anyone. So, tough. Right. Yeah, makes loads of sense, that defence. I understand your point about Wan-Bissaka coming in. I think he's been much better since sort of post-World Cup. I know he didn't go to the World Cup, but around that time he seems to have kicked up a gear. The midfield, you've gone with Eriksen, Fernandes and Casemiro. Makes sense. Strongest midfield. I don't think there's anything to discuss there. Front three, you've gone Sancho, Rashford and Antony. The one question there would be Anthony Martial. You're not feeling him?
No, what's he done? Seriously,
what did you make of his cameo against Villa? Because I was at the game, and when I got home, I saw a few people online sort of questioning that cameo and saying he just didn't look up for it. I don't know though. I don't know if that was the case.
I can see the valid points in that. I saw the previous game against Tottenham. He come on. He held the ball up, was holding up 3 players on him, holding it. He lost it, and Tottenham went on the attack and nearly scored. This was before the equaliser.
Right, okay.
And he held his I'm sorry. And it's just like, there's other players like that. Fred as well. Fred, it's in that player, Fred. It's just like Martial. It's in him to lose the ball, and he just go, sorry.
Yeah.
And if that leads to a goal, sorry. Your teammates, like, fuck all the hard work gone in a second.
Yeah, I think there is a touch of that about. I think with Fred, it seems to be almost a lack of skill at sometimes. I mean, the skill is a bit of a harsh word, but maybe he lacks that little bit of awareness. With Martial, I think the reason it looks sometimes as bad as it does is because he isn't the same type of player as Marcus Rashford. He doesn't run down channels all the time. He doesn't chase everything down. He's just got energy about him. But I think sometimes when you sort of juxtapose the two, people can get a little bit aggy and think that Martial's not trying.
He don't want to get physical.
He doesn't want to
I
do like Martial.
I know he's been injured.
I do wonder whether like the amount of injuries he's had as well sometimes plays back. But I still think he's a good player. And I think that whether he's going to be here next season is a different debate. But certainly if he's here this season, or whilst he's here this season, he can do a job for us. And he's got a very good record in terms of sort of goals per minute and stuff. We just need to keep him fit. We'll talk about my team then, because it's similar to yours right now. I've gone with Malacia at left back. I thought he did well against Villa. Delo stays at right back. Again, this is predicted. I've gone with Rashford on the left. I've gone with Weghorst, right? Now, you might be thinking, Jay, what are you talking about? Why would Weghorst be picked over Martial, or why would you not keep Rashford down the middle? I just feel with Weghorst, even though he only had a bit of a cameo against Brighton in the FA Cup semi, I thought he did well. And his energy and pressing at the front, it seemed to rattle him. And I just wonder whether the manager might look at that and go, do you know what, there's something in this with Weghorst, in this game, away from home, where we have struggled this season, just that energy and that sort of graft that it's not enough for me for Weghorst to be here long term, but in certain games, it is enough. I actually think we could see Garnacho on the bench for this game. He's back in first team training. He's just signed a new deal. It's all going well for the boy. And I think he will play a part in this game. I don't think he'll necessarily start, but I think we'll see him return. I think he could come off the bench and hopefully, like he did against Fulham, get us the winner. We'll talk about Brighton. Doing well this season. 8th in the league. 51 points from 31 matches. Everyone, well, not everyone. Some people questioned it when Potter went in. De Zerbi came in and went, oh, what's he going to do? Smashed it. Playing great football, been to an FA Cup semi-final, obviously doing well in the league as well, scoring goals for fun. They banged 6 in against Wolves. 3 people getting a brace, that's quite rare, isn't it?
Yeah, man, Danny Welbeck on the score sheet as well.
Danny Welbeck, I'm glad you nicely segued there. Danny Welbeck, I think he's got 6 goals this season, 4 of which have come in the last I think it's the last month. So he's obviously in a good bit of form. I love Danny Welbeck. I would have him back at United in a heartbeat. I didn't want to see him leave. Whether he starts against Manchester United, we'll have to wait and see, because I think they rotated a little bit. They battered Wolves, but they rotated a bit last week.
It's a tough place to go.
You have to give him credit, but this is an hard game, isn't it?
Yeah, they spanked us last season as well. Only beat us opening day this season, so we have to get something there. Yeah,
we do. I think even a point, I know that sounds very negative for a Manchester United team, but I think even a point would be a positive one. Andy, with everything we have discussed, give us your predicted score, my friend.
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Oh, Desmond, 2-2. I'd probably take that, to be honest with you. I think a draw does us. But I'm going to go... I'll go 3-2 United.
Ooh, living
2-2 at full time, and then VAR gives us a penalty. Remember that one?
I'm getting flashbacks. I remember that. I turned off at 2-2. I turned off my phone.
It's the only time you've had on the website or the betting or whatever. It says full time. United have lost. Was it 2-2 draw? Sorry, 2-0. And then after full time, we get a penalty.
95 minutes. Yeah, I turned off my phone. I went. I can't repeat what I said. I went, screw you. Went back to sleep an hour later. Found out we won 3-2.
History was made that day. I'll say that again. Can lightning strike twice? Listen, we want your score predictions. So get your phone out. Film yourself in landscapes, a 30-second score prediction, send it to paddockmatchday@gmail.com, and we'll use those as part of the pre-match show. Andy, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on the Paddock, and you can find me here, there and everywhere.
He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Andy Tate. You know where to find me as well, so make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. That's been Andy Tate. I'm Jay Motti. This has been the Brighton preview. Thanks for watching.